Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys about my move to Houston. I'm going to tell you guys what I did to get here, how I got here, all the fun stuff that you guys would probably want to know, definitely if you're someone who is interested in relocating to a different state. So let's get into this video. So basically guys, when I decided to move to Houston, I feel like I was in a place where I was being very stagnant. I just had the same stuff going on, working, going to school, pretty much that was it. I started to find myself staying in my room more, not exactly wanting to do much, or just, I don't know, just feeling like I had no idea on what I was doing, where I was going, nothing. Just completely confused, there just to be there. And it kind of just got to the point where I was like, okay, Rachel, something has to change. Now, me moving was something that I was talking about doing for, when I say a while, it was for a while. I had talked to all my friends about it, my siblings about it, I had talked to everybody about it, and I just kept saying, I gotta move, I gotta move, I gotta move, I gotta move, like, I got to move. So, what I did was I made a list of places that I was interested in moving in, and I kind of did like the pros and cons of each. The places that I was looking to move at this time was Florida, Atlanta, Texas. I looked at New York, and I also looked at DC, Washington, DC, like Maryland type area. So, how I picked a place was, what I did was, first I didn't have to visit New York because I'm from New Jersey. New York is right there. I've been to New York all the time. And I don't know, I just always had this crazy dream of like living in Manhattan and just like, I don't know, all of this extra stuff going on. When I went apartment shopping in New York, that was a dream because I did not have the money to pay for that. I couldn't afford to live in New York. I knew that, so I had to cross New York off my list. Kind of the same situation with DC, and I crossed that off my list. DC was a place that I had went as well all the time. Not only that, but I have family in Maryland, Silver Springs, and I've been out there, so I already knew what was going on. So those two places definitely got crossed off my list. After crossing those two off my list, that pretty much left Texas, Florida, and Atlanta. So what I did was I had put some money aside and I had saved up enough to go and travel to visit to all these places. My first touchdown was in Texas, Houston, Texas. I knew that I wanted to live in Houston. I came here, I had so much freaking fun, guys. Like, I came with one of my close friends. Like, she's like my sister. We came out here, we had such a good time. Like, the food was good, the people were great, the vibes were crazy. It was always something going on. Like, I just loved it here. So that kind of put a check on my list for Houston. Like, okay, this, you know, it was already top 3, but now here we are, top 2. Not really top 2, but here we are. I know that this is a place I could see myself. So I had already got that dope vibe. Like, Houston, I belong here. Yeah, let me go to my next spot. So from Houston, I went to Atlanta. I actually had traveled to Atlanta. It wasn't really like my scene. It wasn't really like my vibe. Don't get me wrong, Atlanta was fun. When I was there was some type of like festival thing going on. It was definitely fun, but I don't know, like, it just didn't hit like how Houston hit. Like, when I came to Houston, like, I picked up like, oh, like, yes, like, this is it. Like, I just knew. So whatever, I went to Atlanta. Dope place. Love it for visiting or whatever the case may be. Living, a little iffy. Maybe, who knows, if I travel there later date, maybe, you know, things may change, but it wasn't for me. Now I was down to Florida, and I literally did this back to back. 1 month, 3 months. Texas 1 month, Atlanta the next month, Florida. When I went to Florida, it was cool, fun vacation, but it didn't hit. So after going to those 3 places, I knew that Texas was a place I wanted to move. Also, when I was here with my friend, because I didn't even tell you guys, I did go apartment shopping. I did go to different areas. I checked out malls. I checked out food. Like, I kind of like made my way around. Now, when I tell you guys Houston is huge, it is like huge. There is so many places. I have met people out here who said they've been living here for years, 5 and 6 years, who still have yet to see the whole city. So when I tell you guys, it's so much going on here. It is so freaking much going on here. And I just absolutely love it. Anyway, so I knew I was moving to Houston. Basically, what I did was, after I found out places, I made a list of apartments. I wish I had my book, but I think I left it in New Jersey. But I made a list of apartments, prices, down to amenities. I did that. I picked areas. I picked areas that I knew of. Now, the area that I decided to move on, I live in a super nice area. I ended up moving to this area. It's not exactly Katy, but I live in Houston, but I live like on the line of Katy, Houston. I ended up picking this area because I actually had 2 friends that lived here, and they lived in this area, and they were kind of just like, oh, just come move around here, like you'll love it here, blah blah blah. This was not my original apartment, and y'all, I will have a story time for my original apartment. It was like completely ridiculous, like oh my goodness. And I will tell you guys, I did that, the apartment that I actually ended up picking, I picked them because they had a special going on, and I don't know, it was just, I blindly got my original apartment, which is not this one I live in, but the one that I lived before this for like 3 days or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I ended up picking this area or whatever the case may be. Now, to get my apartment, guys, what I did was I did the application. I used my pay stubs from my current job in New Jersey, which at that time I was working as a nursing assistant. And I had this really dope gig going on that my best friend had set me up with, where I was working as a CNA, because y'all know around that time where like COVID and everything was going on, anybody in the medical field was making bank. So being a CNA for me was a blessing because I was able to rack up that money quick. So it was literally like I would go to work, get paid for a shift, and then get like a $300 bonus on top of my regular pay. So when I moved to Houston, guys, I literally only had $5K in my pocket, not a dime more, not a dime less. I had already, as a matter of fact, before I even came to Houston, when I came, what was it? I had my apartment and stuff set, but I didn't pay my deposit yet, and I didn't pay like my first month's prorated rent and all that stuff. That's all stuff I still had to pay. Mind you, I only had $5K in my pocket. So I'm like, okay, Rachel, like, this is what you want to do. You're not going to mess this up. You have to figure it out. I literally gave myself a timeline. By this time, you're moving. I don't care what you have going on. I don't care what the problem is, what the case may be. That's it. Period. So what I did was I started taking money from what I was doing as a CNA and putting it aside. So that way I was like, okay, like I'm going to have something, like when I leave, I'm going to have some type of funds. Got my apartment, like I said, pay stubs from that job in here. They didn't really ask any questions because at that time I was a travel aide or whatever, but I was a local travel aide. So I traveled to different facilities in New Jersey in my area. I wasn't like a travel aide, but that's none of your business. I'm a travel aide, which means I still have income coming in. This is my income. Give me my apartment. So that was that or whatever. So got my apartment. They emailed me my lease. I did everything online. I signed my lease, whatever the case may be. And all I had to do was get my move-in date and get my keys. Y'all, when I tell y'all this crazy situation ended up happening to me when it was almost time for me to leave, I had to push back my apartment move-in date, which was fine. But during that time, I think after I secured my apartment, I forgot how long I had to move. I want to say it was like a month. Now, when I had went to Texas, originally it was like August. No. June, I had went to Texas. July, I had went to Atlanta. August, I had went to Florida. And then, yeah, so I was still back in New Jersey, preparing September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 5. So 7 months from the time that I went to Texas is the time that I had to actually move out here. I had 7 months. In 7 months, I had $5,000 to my name during the time of my move. That's what I had. And that's what I came with. So yeah, there was that. So what am I saying? So the time came, fast forward, you know what I did. Like I said, I was working and kind of just like chilling, not doing too much, laying low, put my money to the side. The money that I could have saved, because of course I still had to pay like my bills, like my car, phone, credit card. I had to put all that in. So I made more than $5,000, but I was only able to put aside $5,000. So the time came, this was probably like a week or two before moving. I told my family, like, guys, I'm moving to Texas on March, I think my moving day was like March 12th or something like that. I don't remember. Somewhere around there. I'm like, I'm moving to Texas, blah, blah, blah. Nobody believed me. The next week came and I'm like, all right, like it's getting closer to my moving day. Still, nobody's listening to me. And I'm just like, okay, but I'm so serious. So me, I'm cleaning out my clothes, packing things, throwing things away, blah, 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 getting my stuff ready because I knew that I gave myself a deadline. This is the time I'm moving. I got to be out by this time. There's no and, ifs, or buts, ma'am. You said you were going to do it and you're finna make this happen, and which is exactly what I did. So the day finally had came. I started packing my stuff and just going to put my stuff in the car. My grandmom's laying in her room, like completely ignoring me. My cousin, I forgot who was sitting in the den, but they're all sitting there. Nobody's really saying anything, and I'm just packing mystuff, walking into my car like they thought I was joking, but I'm so serious. They would call me when I'm trying to make a video. But yeah, I was like, I'm so serious. Like, nobody's listening to me, but I'm going to make it happen. So then the day before, when they finally realized I was serious that day or whatever, they're like, okay, so you should probably take somebody with you because that's a long drive for you to take by yourself, blah, blah, blah. They tried to talk me into staying. All types of stuff. Wasn't happening. My mind was made up, and I knew that I was leaving regardless. So I packed up all my clothes. If it wasn't a clothing item, shoes or something, I left it behind. I left my bed. I left any furniture that I had. Everything that I have in my apartment today is brand new that I bought while being here. Furniture, left it. Now, a lot of people suggest when you leave, like if you have furniture, to sell it. But I was just so eager to get up out of there. I didn't care anything about furniture, nothing. I left everything at my grandparents' house because that's where I was staying at the time. And all of that stuff is literally still there. I packed up my car, my little Ford Escape, and yeah, they're like, oh, you should call somebody to come with you. You shouldn't take that drive by yourself. And they're like, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up calling my cousin Jacob because he was home from school. And he immediately said yes, he would take the trip with me. Which, shout out to my cousin Jacob because, y'all, I drove for like 8 hours on a 26-hour ride. And he drove the rest of the way. Like, no sleep, nothing. Like, this dude was freaking chugging Red Bulls like they were nothing. Like, he did that. Like, he got me here on time to my apartment to get my keys and my deposit and all that type of stuff. He did that. So the road trip was fun. I got to see a lot of like places on the road here, but yeah, it was long. And the whole time, like, I was super excited, but I was still scared because I couldn't believe. I want to say, like, even just now, I've been in Texas now for 7 months. I will say for the first probably like 5 of those 7 months, like, I was such in disbelief, like shocked, like, girl, you really packed up everything and moved to Texas, just you and a dog. Like, are you crazy? Like, are you crazy? But I knew that I needed that change. Like, I knew I needed that change. So, definitely dope. Wouldn't go back. So, got here, got my keys, signed my lease officially or whatever. I forgot. I don't know what I didn't even think I had to sign a lease. I had to sign for something else. I don't remember what it was, but whatever. Got my apartment. So you guys probably wondering what I did as far as making money when I got here, because obviously $5K wasn't going to last that long after paying my deposit and paying my prorated first month's rent, whatever the case may be. What I did was I actually got my CNA license. I did the reciprocity. It's a reciprocity form. I forgot the name of it, but I filled that form out. I sent it in with the background check. I got my license switched over here. And then before moving out here, I didn't tell you guys my research. What I did was I found different CNA agencies that I could work at while, you know, doing the whole process. The one that I was working for was ShiftMed, which is pretty much like this app where you can go on there and, you know, they put up different shifts and you just pick up shifts or whatever. You get the bid on your pay, whatever. So I was making my money through ShiftMed. And everything was literally good. For a while, I had no furniture in a bed. I slept on an air mattress for a little bit. And then I eventually went and had a bed. All I had was a bed and a TV. The first thing I bought was a TV because... I bought an air mattress from home. My cousin went and bought an air mattress for him to sleep on. And then I felt bad because he stayed with me for a week. And, like, he was just in my living room. I didn't have anything in there. So I bought a TV for him to watch or whatever. And even for I'm not going to talk about that, but I had a TV for him to watch, which I got from Best Buy. And then when I moved to my actual apartment, because like I told you, the apartment I lived in was an apartment from hell, I actually ended up getting a bed. But I slept on an air mattress. No, I slept on the floor in here for a little bit, actually, because my air mattress ended up getting a hole in it, and I was not about to buy another one. So whatever. I worked as a CNA through agency. So yeah, I don't know. I guess like that's pretty much my story of how I moved. Oh, what am I talking about? I didn't even tell you guys what I did because I didn't continue working for agency. Basically, I wanted a job that was kind of like more secure and kind of like, because like I said, you're bidding on shifts with agency. It was good for the beginning for sure, but I had to actually find a job. What I did to find a job, I went on Indeed and I just applied to mad jobs. I put in job fairs, career fairs, open houses, like open house, whatever. That type of stuff, and all of that stuff popped up, and I just started RSVPing to go to like different hiring events. And I ended up going to a hiring event. I got the job the same day I started working. That's the job that I have been working thus far till now. I actually just resigned because that place was driving me crazy and I had to like get up out of there. So I am in another process of finding another job. But listen, find yourself a hiring event, okay? Listen, all I'm gonna say is if you really want it, you're gonna make it happen. That's pretty much how I made it happen. I saved up some money, found me an apartment, used my old job pay stubs to freaking get me an apartment, came down here, worked agency to make sure my bills were getting paid, found me a hiring event, and I got a job at the airport, worked at the airport for my first 6 months down here, and now I'm here in Texas. Now I'm here, guys. Living in Texas. I love it here. I don't see myself going back up north anytime soon. Jersey was great. That will always be, you know, me. But Texas is doing it for me. Super excited for this journey. And I can't wait to share it with you guys. But yeah, pretty much, guys, that was my move to Texas. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope you guys got a couple of answers maybe if you're in the process of doing the same thing. If you have any questions or want to see another video, you can definitely feel free to drop a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up so that way I know that you enjoyed this video so I can do more videos like this. And I guess till next time, you guys go ahead and subscribe. Like I said, comment and like. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Talk to y'all later. Bye.